vitamins and minerals, yes, it will. If you feed it,
Please
if you
provide me
feed
a
it
paper
such
where that's
amount,
been
if you feed
shown.
it such amount, if you feed it calcium ionophores, yes, it will. It will
No, it
grow.
won't.
Yes, yeah, yeah, yeah. But the
Show
thing
me a
is, y'all
paper.
doing
Show
it
me
in
a
the
paper
lab.
where that
But the
happened.
thing is,
Show me where that's been demonstrated.
but the thing is, y'all are doing it in the lab. How is a banana made then, my nigga? Isn't it through CRISPR-Cas9? Isn't it through synthetic
Through
biology?
selective breeding.
Selective?
Yes, we
Selective breeding.
selectively
Who's
bred
selecting
bananas to
this
be
breeding?
Oh
triploid.
my
And who's
god.
Is that
selecting
true?
this
Did
breeding,
we
my
not
Who's
nigga?
did we not
Isn't it the
selectively breed
scientists?
our
Shut
bananas
your mouth. Isn't it the scientists selecting these breedings? Like, what the fuck is we talking about? Y'all
bro?
want to keep using these fucking classy ass, dogmatic, patriarchal, totalitarianism ass words. Go ahead
That's
and
not
tell
even,
me. Go,
bro.
yeah, you laughing because you know what the fuck I'm talking about, my nigga.
I
Go
don't
ahead
know
and
what you're
tell
talking
me.
about. That's why I'm
No, no,
laughing,
no. Go ahead and tell me.
bro. A cell cannot exist without DNA, and a DNA cannot exist without a cell. They are one and the same. Not one and the same. Sorry, they
So
require each other.
which one comes first, the
You,
DNA or the cell?
it was RNA. RNA came before DNA, but
No, 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 no. That's not. DNA starts in stardust, so that's how I know you're
no,
lying. No, 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 no,
RNA
no,
came
no, no, no,
before
no.
DNA.
DNA,
Adams.
atoms, literally is what makes up your DNA, my nigga.
Yeah, atoms also make up RNA,
Yes, but again,
and RNA came
DNA,
first. Can DNA self-replicate? Can
mRNA
DNA
is
undergo autocatalysis?
mRNA is the secondary copy of the
Okay,
DNA.
you know there's more than just
Shut
mRNA,
your
right?
mouth when I'm
Do you know what
talking to you.
autocatalytic
Shut your mouth
ribonucleotides
when I'm
are?
talking to you. mRNA is literally the secondary DNA that came from the DNA from a certain frequency that it was in to produce that for a message protein to now make the cell up. The cell is made up of proteins, right? The cell is made up of enzymes, right? That all had to come from the DNA.
Are
The cell can't
phospholipids
exist
proteins?
without the DNA. The cell can't exist without the DNA. You see what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
and the
And
DNA
so-called
can't
black
exist
people,
without the cell.
no, hold on for a second. So-called black people, we have nucleoid associated proteins that is associated with our neuromelanin. You see what I'm saying? And this is what we use to create the cell. This is what we use: DPS, FIS protein. What's it called? Um, uh, the chromophores. We have all of these different proteins that is light sensitive for independent reactions within our metabolism and for DNA transcriptions and translation. This is how our cells work. It don't work the same as yours.
Yeah, the
So when I
chromatin.
sequenced the DNA of my lab partner and we came back to have the same genotype, he was hella different from me.
Who is
Hella
he?
different from you. Come on now, you know all these different
What are you
enzymes.
He was a
talking
black
about?
dude. My
Who
lab
is this
partner,
man? Is he the
my lab
same
partner was a
species as
black
you?
guy. We both were sequencing our genomes to compare our TAS2R38 gene, right? And we both had the same genotype.
You're telling me he was
What's
a black
y'all's
guy?
phenotype? What is it? Does he share the same phenotype as you?
Yeah, he shares the same phenotype with regard to the TAS2R38 gene.
No. Is this a so-called BLK man or who?
No, he was. I asked him where he was from. He said he was from Nigeria. What do you want me to say? I don't know. I can't tell you the dude's exact history. I'm telling you what he told me.
What does he phenotypically present as? There's YT people in Nigeria.
There's Arabs
He
all
was
over
black. He had
Nigeria.
melanin. He was melanated.
Every living organism has melanin.
There's
Okay, he had
Dravidians.
black skin. He had dark skin. No, sorry, not black. He had dark brown. Like I don't know what
Dark
you want me
brown,
to
was
tell
he
you, bro.
Dravidian? Was he Mexican?
He was from Nigeria and he had very dark skin. What do you want me to tell you? I don't know what he,
Is he
I asked him
Arab?
where he was from. He said he was from Nigeria. I call like he has very dark skin. What do you want me to say?
And what did you find?
That we had the same genotype with regard to TAS2R38.
With the regards to that, okay, so then
Okay, that's why I'm gonna have to ask you now. So do antigens express themselves as nucleic acids?
Some do, yeah, like
Okay
endogenous
then. So
retroviruses.
that's what you seen in the brothers.
No, that's not what we've
because
seen.
again, yes
We
it
use
is
restriction
because
enzymes
you see
to
how I'm trying to
specifically
talk.
target the.
You see,
bro, he hasn't even got it out. Like he hasn't even got it out.
you
Like,
see what I'm
damn,
trying to
bro.
say? You see that, y'all? You see that? You already said yes. Antigens can express as nucleic acids, and antigens is what determines your blood type. So I'm sure that you had to use one of his red blood cells, right, to see that shit, right?
It was a
So
cheek swab. It was a
I
cheek
know you
swab.
didn't take his neurons. I know you didn't do that. I know you didn't take his liver cells. You took his blood cells.
Do all your cells have the same DNA?
So no. Let me finish. So antigens also determine your blood types. Antigens is animal DNA and proteins and enzymes, which is vitrosynthetic pheomelanin, vitrosynthetic eumelanin, vitrosynthetic neuromelanin that comes from y'all. But as soon as it touches our blood starts to translate that as a foreign species, as non-self, because these antigens steal the minerals, steal the vitamins, and they weaken our red blood cells. And they weaken our red blood cells so much that when these red blood cells start to lose nutrition, it undergoes red blood cell hemolysis, where their reproduction rate is lower than their unalivement. You see what I'm saying? They're unaliving more than they're reproducing. That's red blood cell hemolysis. That's what's happening within our cells right now, which is why we're in this state that we're in as so-called black people in this environment.
Do all cells have the same DNA?
So that's what I was saying. When y'all try to say that my brothers and sisters all over the planet have a percentage of y'all DNA, no, we don't. We've been getting graped from y'all because these
all
antigens
cells have the same.
Hold on for a
years.
second.
As soon as we start talking about grape, you want to
see?
start over talking us.
You
No,
see?
let's talk
Bro,
about
I
that
admit
because when we
that
first came in
I'm not
contact
even
with y'all were wiping us out. 2 continents alone.
You see, y'all?
Plus
I'm
others.
Mexican,
due to
bro.
having
I'm not even.
I don't. It doesn't matter. Y'all are like a chromosome away from each other. It doesn't matter. So the thing is that when we first came into contact with y'all were wiping us out due to biological and DNA incompatibility. That wasn't happening between us.
Exactly. So again, let me finish my point. So when we reproduce with y'all, you see what I'm saying? There's a zoonotic transfer that takes place. Y'all are transferring zoonotic diseases into our system. This is why our system started to fail. More than 509 million of our women, children, and men fell unalive when we came into contact with y'all seminal fluids. So these different what's it called? These different antigens is like nucleic acids, proteins from different animals. You see what I'm saying? And when they attach to the red blood cell, they weaken that red blood cell and allow parasites and diseases to fester up in the glymphatic system and the lymphatic system of the body. You see what I'm saying? So this is what we're saying to you, that you told me that you had the same sequence as this, or you had the same marker as this one brother that my brother that you were near. You see what I'm saying? But the problem is, even him being around you, breathing in your microbiome, he's ingesting antigens through pathogens and airborne pathogens from your mouth, because you're an unnatural species. You see what I'm saying to you? And the fact that y'all came, and Mexicans, all of y'all came here from the fact that of graping of our people. The result of us being graped is y'all. Y'all are the result of that. I hope y'all know that. From involuntary to voluntary, for over 4,000 years, we've been getting graped, and antigens have been getting passed on into our blood. That's what's been going on. That's why right now y'all trying to say we're the same species, but we're not. The nucleic acid that we have from y'all it can't enter the cell. It only can attach to the cell, and what it does, and it steals the nutrients. That's all that happens.
So what determines a species? What's the definition?
A species is a group of organisms who share the same genes and can reproduce a viable offspring. So this is why you asked that. When we reproduce with y'all are reproducing with, again, the antigens that you agree.
So how did the antigens get in there in the first place?
The antigens. Y'all are reproducing with the antigens within us, because when we first came into contact with you, when we had no antigens, because the neuromelanin, that's our DNA, it gets transformed in the blood through carbon-carbon and ether chains and organometallic peroxides. It gets transformed in the blood. You see what I'm saying? So we never had antigens in our life before we came into contact with y'all. So now that 4,000 years have went by of y'all adding antigens into our blood, we are now able to.
So did you get antigens when you
You
eat
see?
like meat too? When you eat meat, do you get antigens?
Yes, when so-called black people eat meat, when we get vaccinated, when we
What about when you eat
hold
plants?
on, you see, I can't have a conversation with you. I ain't gonna lie, I can't do that with you.
Bro,
I can't do that with you because again,
the thing is that
you're
we just
asking me
gish
questions.
gallop.
You're
Like,
asking me questions, and when I start to answer, you ask me another question. And
because
the thing is, I get you. You're trying to catch me in a trap, but you're
no,
not.
I'm not. I'm
You see what
trying
I'm
to
saying? So
clarify
just
things so
let
that
me
we're on the same
fucking
page.
finish. So just let me finish as a grown ass man. Let me finish. That's it. So again, these y'all are reproducing with the antigens. You're not reproducing with us. That's why a baby comes about, and then they get some of our melanin that we release out of the cell. That's it. That's why they come out like that. That's why every hybrid, every biracial organism on this planet that came from mixed breeding, they have blood issues. They have issues under the sun, just like y'all. So-called black people are the only people who don't have issues under the sun. It is biochemically and physiologically impossible for us to reproduce you. We've had a mother of life come in here. She's been at the doctors. She looked at her cells. Her cells have circular chromosome. She has one single set of chromosome. That is a so-called black woman. She has a single set of chromosome. So what you just try to tell me about that gene, that can only come from antigen. That can only come from an antigen.
So when you say an antigen, can you name a few antigens that have integrated themselves into our genome and what the specific site of our genome is that, or of your genome or our genome that has let's say your genome. What specific site of your genome do you have those antigens at?
What specific site
Like
is
what
not on my
chromosome? On what
genome?
chromosome do you have them
So
on?
you remember how you told me I wasn't listening?
That's
You
sad as
wasn't
fuck.
listening. You wasn't listening
You didn't
either.
mention a single chromosome. You didn't
Yeah,
say on chromosome 1 we have this antigen. On chromosome 2 we have this antigen. Like what
Bro, oh
chromosome do you
my
I
have?
got you. I got you.
gosh.
Yeah, those are antigens for you because you're an incomplete dominant species. When you procreate, if you was to procreate with another so-called Mexican woman, y'all genes would be incompatible with each other. The Rogam shot was made for fucking y'all. So when I told you that, again, these antigens can only sit on the surface on the red blood cells. You can look this up. It's a simple fifth grade knowledge. Antigens are fucking unnatural foreign proteins that sit on top of the red blood cells. They don't reach the DNA of the cell. You can't cut into black people's cells. Nothing outside of nothing outside of black people can get into black people's cells. That doesn't happen because our cells are coded in what you call living biological light, which is neuromelanin, condensed sunlight. And the way to splice into organisms, the way to use CRISPR-Cas9, the enzyme, the CRISPR-Cas9 enzyme, the way to use that, you need ultraviolet light to pierce into the cell. But our cells, only so-called black people, by John Biggerstaff and Danielle Silverman, who said this in an interview, when you try to cut into our cells block the light and it absorbs the light immediately and it utilizes that light for energy later. You see what I'm saying? So-called black people, we make our own ATP through cyclic phosphorylation. And we do that and we do it through water dissociation, where we split the hydrogen from the oxygen. You see what I'm saying? We're splitting
So just auto ionization of water?
I got you, bro. I got you.
Like,
Go ahead. Go ahead and talk what you wanted to talk, bro.
like, okay, like there's just so my question is, how do you determine who is like so-called black people and who isn't?
Bro, what the fuck?
Like you see this shit? Like look where this conversation went, yo. Like bro,
Bro,
where did
you're
the
sitting here telling me
eukaryotic
that I'm
cell?
an
Where?
unnatural species, that I like can't reproduce with certain people, that I can't like when you're looking at this, I'm hearing just like pure hatred coming off of y'all. Like I literally can't even believe what I'm hearing. Like how do you
We got to take you off. F1 in the chat. There's already a restriction on the live that has not been lifted, and you just use the H word. F1 in the chat. This TikTok live is for educational purposes only, and we did need you to land so that way we could get to the next guest. Because the thing is, Cray, is like this is your second or third week here. You never answered our last question from 3 weeks ago, let alone today. You keep telling us the functionality for eukaryotic cells. You're not telling us the origin and how the cell was created.
Yep.
You're talking about organisms that are already full grown instead of what makes the organism, which are its cells. You don't understand the composition of prokaryotes or DNA. You denied the fact that DNA is composed of stardust for prokaryotic life forms, because atoms start off, your cells start off as atoms. Atoms eventually turn into cells. Cells turn into tissues, which create organs, and organs create the organism. So you don't understand basic fourth grade science and the organization of life, and you don't understand the functionality of prokaryotes and eukaryotes, which is fifth grade science, and you don't understand ninth grade science and biology either, and you didn't understand introgression, and you didn't understand hybridization.
And one final thing, you lied about the cyanobacteria.
Oh yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Those are green or purple sulfuric photosynthetic bacteria that is found in oceans. You see what I'm saying? They help condense sunlight for the rest of the organisms in the ocean. They're the start of the so-called food chain for the rest of the ocean. You see what I'm saying? So you're not seeing prokaryotes engulf another prokaryote. You see what I'm saying? You said that cyanobacteria became a chloroplast, and chloroplast has nothing to do with the ocean. It has nothing to do with cyanobacteria. Chloroplast is a whole separate thing. It's a whole separate organelle. It's an organelle. It's not a cell. You know what I'm saying? It's a piece of a cell. It's a specialized compartment of the cell.
Yeah, so and he's trying to say
that chloroplast only functions to create glucose for the plant. You see what I'm saying? Through photosynthesis. It doesn't do anything else for no other species unless you genetically program it to do something else for another species. Because that which is natural in nature would never change unless something unnatural takes place to it. This is why you have biological agents. Every natural prokaryotic life that's out there that's not coated in neuromelanin, they have a biological agent of that, where they isolate certain chemicals of these prokaryotes and changes behavior in lab settings to now become a virus. Y'all are working in there to make viruses. That's what y'all are doing in there. I hope you fucking know that. Y'all think that y'all jobs is here to help the people, and you're splicing DNA and you're intruding into organisms. And that type of mind can't live on this planet. That type of mind is not natural to this planet. You don't see nothing in nature doing what y'all are doing and what you got us doing through your influence.
Facts.
So let's stop the bullshit.
So the thing is he's saying that we need to find peace, but we're talking about the origin of your cells, and you can't explain it for the third week of the row, and you're telling us to find peace when we found the truth. The truth is that you don't genetically or biologically align with this planet. So AC Bryant, I don't know if you, I am going to post this on YouTube. I definitely am. I'm working on the last one with Phoebe. I know a lot of y'all have been asking about that. I was playing that back today. She fucking lied. Not only did she lie about her occupation, she lied and did reverse psychology. So I'll be posting that and tagging her. Yep. These scientists that y'all keep trying to defend in the comments, I want y'all to actually listen to the live play back and hear, and I want you to listen to how they lie. All right. So the thing is, AC Bryant, I see that you're on the panel. Evolution, the biggest lie ever told. Go ahead and tell us how you feel using science.
Okay, so I don't know if you're. Yeah, I mean, I sure remember me. I just like it's been like an hour at least. But like, so y'all, the last question y'all asked me was how were eukaryotic cells created, right? And so I've come back with the answer, right? Eukaryogenesis, right? In which cells absorbed bacteria, right? In which wasn't completely absorbed and in fact became a part of the organism, right? In that it became a sort of symbiotic relationship. Sorry, if y'all can hear my cat in the background, I'm sorry about that. But cells absorbed bacteria, right? Less complex bacteria, right, which they cannot fully absorb, right, which became essentially a part of them because it could not be fully absorbed, right, and it became a symbiotic relationship, right, which is one of the explanations why we have a mitochondria and such, right? So this is the explanation for how cells became eukaryotic, right? And as well as I do want to point out, right? I don't know if y'all know this, right? But from what I'm hearing, right, it sounds like that y'all are saying or insinuating that prokaryotic cells made eukaryotic cells, which is not the truth. Which the truth is we differ, right? We as human beings are not prokaryotic, right? We are eukaryotic, right? There's a difference between us and prokaryotic organisms. There's a split off between prokaryotes and eukaryotes, right? This is very important. I don't know if y'all know that. If I'm assuming wrong, please let me know.
Okay,
So you just heard us the whole live, debunk everything that everybody else said, and you came in here and you said
No. I just came back on. I have not heard y'all the whole live.
you were in the live earlier, and then you just
Like
came back
like like
now.
like an hour or 2 hours ago.
So you heard us for an hour, and you were also on the panel, and we talked to you, and we already asked you to explain the engulfment between the two, and you did not. You all keep
I just explained
explaining.
it.
Let me respond to you, please. You keep explaining the definition of endosymbiosis, but you're not explaining the engulfment between a prokaryote and a prokaryote to create a eukaryotic cell. That's what y'all are not doing. Like I don't understand.
yeah, coming up here saying we're all human, that's not scientifically proving that we're the same at all. Because we don't have all these different sets of chromosomes like y'all do. We don't. And we can tell by how we react to UV light.
Yeah, he's saying that there's a difference or a split, but if there's a difference or a split, then we're not the same. What's the difference and what's the split?
Exactly.
I didn't say there was a split between humans. I said there was a split between prokaryotic organisms and eukaryotic organisms.
Yes, then you did say that.
No, all human beings, me and you, regardless of skin color, are eukaryotic.
Do we all function to like we have eukaryotic cells?
Yes,
No, we don't.
because we are
He keep
eukaryotic
telling you, and he
organisms.
keep telling you the scientists and the books that actually explain this, and y'all keep coming in here with shit that y'all are using only from the AI overview.
Exactly. And the thing is,
So,
if y'all are the same as if we're all the same, how is it that when you're under the sun, you get radiation sickness and acute body radiation?
okay, so that is due to acute adaptation between species, right? We are still Homo sapiens, right? But just because you have darker skin than me and I have lighter skin, it's because we've adapted to different environments. But the fact that me and you can still breed together proves that we are still the same species, right? We are still close enough, right? And close enough related, right? If you want to get to that point, to be considered the same species, right? And we are still in the same family, right? We me as a white person and you as a POC, right? Would you still consider us as the same species?
So here's the thing: you're talking about skin, but you're not talking about the biochemical substance that makes up the skin. So this is how I
Because
know you don't. This is how I know you don't really understand the conversation. This is a conversation about DNA, right? This
okay,
is a conversation about the cells, the biochemistry, the chemistry, the biology, right? So the thing is that we're not composed of the same biochemical substance, which means that
okay,
we have a different embryological origin, which
all
means that
right,
we would not be the same species. When you're
okay.
talking about being able, can I respond to you, please?
I'm
When
no,
it, okay,
I'm letting you know
I
I
got you with
understand you.
that. Thank you. So the thing is like when it comes to like the procreating. We can only procreate with y'all as a byproduct of introgression. Just because you see something doesn't mean that it's natural. If we were to look at what was actually taking place with us on a cellular level, you'd actually see hemolytic diseases and zoonotic disease and ischemia be invoked on a cellular level. Okay, this is the reason why the ROGAM shot was created. Prior to that being created, there was a lot of children that did not make it successfully to term.
And the thing is, y'all always want to use the word change, evolution, adaptation. What did you adapt to? Because the whole planet is a photonic. It's a photonic environment. The sun touches all places on this planet. Y'all talk about Europe, 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 like it's not blistering sun over there right now. That happens all the time. Europe always gets hot.
Hmm.
Every place on this planet gets hot because it's a naturally tropical planet when it's naturally on this right axis. You see what I'm saying? So when you say
Yeah.
so when you say oh our skin changed because of the environment, you're not letting me know no scientific changes that's taking place for you to be that. So it just don't make sense.
Yeah, but
Okay,
hold
so
on,
to
AC. Let me get to the next guest. Jermaine, you're off the app. Did you mean to request up? Jermaine, evolution, the biggest lie ever told. When you're
what?
off
Well,
the
he's
app,
off.
we can't
Can
hear
I talk
you.
or?
Can you give him a chance? All right. Jermaine, did you mean to request up or no? All right. You'll have to request back up if you did. So, AC,
Okay, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt y'all. I don't want to be like, I don't want to be like, I don't want to be like, I'm trying not to cuss, but you know the word I'm trying to say, or essentially you can assume. So, to side flip y'all, my dad's black. So, what now?
thank you for telling me that you're a YT man. This is why basic
No, 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 no,
biology
no,
is
no,
a.
no.
See, I'm
I'm
giving you,
biracial, so
look,
my
thank
dad
you,
is
thank
black.
you, thank you, thank you.
You see,
You
y'all really
see, you
want to
don't
be
even want to,
us.
yeah,
Y'all
like
really want to
at
be
the
us.
end
You
of the
want to.
day, bro. And then the thing is that you don't even allow someone to explain. We've been taught, see, this is how I know you don't understand DNA or embryological origin or basic biology. You are your mother's child. She's the one that's carrying the egg cell or the totipotent stem cell. She's the one that splits the cells. What are you talking about? The father just performs a zinc spark. He doesn't carry the embryo, that he's not the origin of the cell.
Yep. 5% of his DNA is within you.
Yeah, you are literally 95% YT. The BLK father that you're talking about got all of his genetic material from his mother.
Exactly.
So
And the
your
thing is,
YT mother has incomplete dominant genetics. She's not 100% of anything. So the origin of your cells truly is eukaryotic.
you're saying here I am, but I know you have issues with absorbing sunlight.
Because we can even tell just based on this conversation and the conversations that we've had with you that there's a slight issue with comprehension. If the origin of all your cells in your body comes from a YT person and this person undergoes acute body radiation, you're not fit for this planet. Respectfully. Your cells must stem from an embryological origin that is able to synthesize and biosynthesize solar and terrestrial radiation. All right? So that's the thing. Yeah, exactly. Like this, I think that's a sister. Yeah, literally, your mother would have needed the ROGAM shot. to help blanket that process. Other than that, she was looking at the fetus as a foreign species to her own body because of the difference in DNA incompatibility. That's what hemolytic disease is about.
Just go stand out in the sun for more than an hour, more than 3 hours, and see what happens to your red blood cells. That's all I'm gonna say to you, because that wavelength from the sun is a germ unaliving, detoxifying, and a mutating wavelength, and that only happens with eukaryotic cells that hold more than one genetic material within the cell to function the cell. That's what's going on. Double-stranded molecular breaks within your in vitro melanin is taking place in every millisecond or femtosecond. So
Facts. So you know what, y'all? We've been live almost a solid 5 hours, 4 hours and 47 minutes. I post these lives on YouTube. This is my second page. I got my main page taken because of the TikTok friendly shit. So I do already have more of these lives that are posted on my YouTube. My YouTube is in my bio. I will continue to do more of these lives so that way that we can understand our DNA and our embryological origin and how we're not the same as these people. But furthermore, we need to understand that it's not just them. There are unnatural animals, there are unnatural insects, there are unnatural plants, there are unnatural microorganisms that are feeding off of our mother's womb that shouldn't be here. Right? Yeah. So before you put something in your body, make sure you understand the origin. Is it native to this planet? Right? So you should be eating an alkaline diet, and the majority of your diet should be sunlight, spring water, fruits of natural origin, right? So grapefruits, limes, key limes, oranges, potatoes, celery, kale, collard greens are all man-made. That shouldn't go in your body, right? But the pomelo is the parent fruit to the grapefruit. That's native to this planet, right? Romaine lettuce, green leaf lettuce, all of these different things. You need to research what's natural to this planet and what's not, and detox your body. You should be in a constant state of detox, especially if you work around these people, if you're around these people, if you associate with these people. If you have to be within 100 feet of these people, you need to be in a constant state of detox. Simply their microbiome is not deteriorating, but challenging you on a cellular level. All right. So give me a couple of days. I am working on a live. We had an ecologist in here that I debunked by myself. That one I did a live by myself, right? And then we also debunked a wildlife management specialist that lied about being a biologist. All right. So I'll clip that. They'll have sources, they'll have captions so you can follow along with my thought process in case you get kind of confused by the verbiage. Other than that, it's just audio lives, right? The rest of them, there's about 2 or 3 with sources. The rest is just audio that stretches back to a year ago. We've debunked biologists and different scientists of different backgrounds just on TikTok with the basics of understanding biology, anatomy, genetics, physiology, and all branches of science.
Yeah.
All right.
And I just wanted to say that these eukaryotic people who act like they know about science, when they in here talking about enzymes and proteins and DNA in the cell, all they're talking about is the melanin and the color it's taking and the spin that it's taking. You see what I'm saying? And how fast the spin is. That's all they're talking about. So that's why when they try to throw in all these different enzymes, like when he tried to do all of that, all you was telling me is how the cell was spinning slower. That's all I needed to know. That this cell is starting to spin slower, so now it's undergoing senescence. So it's unaliving faster. That's all. That's it. That's all you was telling me. You see what I'm saying? But they think that they know what they're talking about. So I was just advising my people, like, don't allow the science terminology to stop you to learn what the functionality of what it's saying means. Because that's what's that's the best defense. These people, you see how he using that to defend his existence, to try to say that we're the same as him, so they can keep policing our people. They can keep teaching our children this same bullshit. Yep. So that's all. I'ma just tell our people, please learn about yourself. You see what I'm saying? Don't be in doubt of your own great power, which is the ability to think for yourself. Don't be in doubt about that. You see what I'm saying? If you're not using your energy, somebody else is.
Facts. All right, so let's see. If anybody wants to come up now, because we are about to head out. Hiking comedian. Evolution, the biggest lie ever told.
Oh my.
What's going on?
You came up already. I remember you.
What is
Yeah.
I don't understand. What is the big fear with evolution? I don't understand the fear here.
No one is fearful of it. How do you feel
You
about the
are.
evolution
I
song?
hear fear in your voice. It's not the biggest lie. We can prove it. We see it with our own eyes.
Prove it.
Go
We're
ahead.
evolving right now.
What are you evolving into, considering the fact that you share DNA with cows, dogs, pigs, fruit flies, and when that DNA, which is
We share the
homobox,
same DNA.
shut
We
your
share
mouth.
50%.
So when that DNA, homeobox genes, comes into contact with ionizing radiation, double-stranded molecular breaks happens within your DNA, which causes radio sickness. You see what I'm saying? Which causes your nucleus to disintegrate, chromosomal deletions. Why is that happening? What are you evolving into in a solar radiated environment? What are you doing? What is the evolution? AI don't count. You see what I'm saying? These jobs don't count. That's somebody made that for you. You see what I'm saying? This is a draconian government. This isn't a white government. This isn't an Asian government. This is an Arab government. This is a draconian government, and we're all living in it. And you're their science experiment. You're their manipulation tactic to lower the consciousness of us, so we don't rise to who we truly are. You see what I'm saying? Which is the sun and the universe in the flesh.
Now you don't know how to work the TikTok mute button.
You're full of fear, kid. Take a deep breath.
Yeah.
Full of fear,
We're
kid.
not kids. We don't have animal
Break your
DNA.
leg, kid. Like, I'm not on that Disney Channel ass verbiage.
Yeah, that
you came
Disney
up here
Channel
saying
shit.
talking about fear like multiple times. Are you in fear, nigga? Because we're not bringing up that word. We're not letting off that. You're the one who's bringing it up from your own mind and projecting it out to us. So are you in fear of what the sun is doing to you and your people? Your people are unaliving by the thousands all over the planet.
Are you in fear of the sun?
That's the problem.
That's the real question. I see the
Is the sun racist?
I see the lady in your picture has on shades. Interesting. Why is she trying to block out the sun? No, you were trying to talk at the same time as us, and then you called us a kid. We're not baby goats. We don't have animal DNA. We're not kids.
No, you guess you can insult. You can speak, but you can't insult. You see what I'm saying? And look at that word insult. You're saying it to yourself first before you're saying it to me. So you're the one in fear.
Who the fuck just comes up talking about fear? Like, you gotta be in fear, bro. Like,
exactly.
And we can hear, you're saying, I can hear fear. I can hear the lack of magnetism in your voice, literally.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can hear a lack of neuromelanin in your voice, literally.
See, and y'all be coming in here saying, where's y'all education? This. We're not going to your schools no more. That era is done.
But do you need that? But do you need that for 4th and 5th grade science?
Literally.
Do you need that for 9th grade science as a grown man? You really need that? You mean to tell me you can't look at me and tell that we're not the same? The fuck? The fuck? You mean to tell me if we stand in the sun 8 to 12 hours tomorrow, or excuse me, today, if we stand out in the sun right now, one bottle.
Yep. All of y'all that are saying that y'all evolving, look up how many robots are being produced all over the planet right now. That is taking these industrial jobs. Your people are being replaced.
Yep.
They know your time is up.
Yeah, y'all.
They know that y'all are unaliving. You're not gonna be here no more because the ozone layer is peeling back. The more the ozone layer peels back and more photons come in, they gonna make things that doesn't have these protons. You have nothing within your cells to vibrate fast, to hold on to that frequency, to get excited to vibrate fast. So you know what happens? Disintegrations, fragmentation of your nucleus starts to take place over and over again. Your DNA pieces become smaller and smaller and smaller until nothing's there.
Facts. All Mac. Cosmic, welcome in, sis. Almac85, did you mean to request up or no? You're on mute. All right, you had your request back up. So literally, y'all, yeah, these people can't explain their existence. That's a damn shame. Because they're trying to say that they come from us. They're trying to say that we the monkeys. That's the thing.
That's what they come in here and fight about. Like
They want
really,
us to be monkeys and animals with them so that they can feel good about being animals and not being able to take the sun. They make it about skin, but what makes up the skin? Your DNA, your melanin. Right? So that's it, y'all. That's it. So
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Study yourself. Study study melanin, all of them, all the 5 basic types, and learn about the 3 synthetic ones too. Learn about how they interact, how they can only interact with UVA and UVB, how they can't synthesize UVC radiation. All right, so
Yep. Look up engineered nucleic acids and look up the correlation with engineered nucleic acids and in vitro synthetic melanins. And look, and they'll tell you.
yeah,
They use this in biotechnology every day.
yeah, y'all. We gotta understand that like splicing has been taking place for 600,000 years. It's not new. You know what I'm saying? These people are new, but splicing is not. Right?
Yep.
6 to 7,000 years old. That's how old these people are. First in the genus would be the so-called Asian man. Next would be the Arab, the Dravidian. And then last in line would be, it would be the Asian, the Dravidian, and then the YT man. And everybody else is a byproduct of mixing with us. So just because you have our DNA doesn't mean that it's through natural biogenetic processes and that you stem from the same embryological origin. All right?
And I wanted to say one more thing. I know, but I do, like when they say that all of these people were on the planet procreating with each other. Again, these modern humans only got here 7,000 years ago. 3,000 years after that, when they got help from their reptilian creators to build up what they are, these people were great. They had to grape us to do it. That's not to be in the system that they're in today. They had to grape us to do it. I just hope y'all know that grape was legal on this planet.
It was legal all the way up into 93, and it technically still is.
Yeah, it still is.
It's never stopped being illegal.
Yep.
But yeah, y'all, gratitude and abundance for everybody pulling